Hi and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Brinley. You can also call me Bryn, and I make reaction, review, and critique content here on the web. And today we are reviewing the 7th through 12th episodes of Khemjira the series. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, feel free to go check it out. What I am doing is taking an archive of all of my Khemjira review TikToks and bringing them to YouTube. So I have them in a time capsule for me and for you all to enjoy back to back. So this will be the second and final part in my Khemjira review series. I am working on a video essay about Khemjira, so that is also in the works. That will not involve my TikToks. but this video is the second part of all of my review TikToks for Khemjira, because every single week I made a TikTok reviewing each episode. Okay, so now knowing that context, please make sure you are subscribed, give this video a like, let me know what you think about it down below, and tell me what your favorite part of Khemjira was. And if you wish to support me further, check out my Patreon, which is linked down below, and you gain all sorts of benefits like early access to videos and sometimes exclusive patron-only videos. So yeah, go check it out. Okay, without further ado, let us get into reviewing the 7th through 12th episode of Khemjira.
Let's talk Khemjira episode 7. I keep shaking, and I'm just like, I had to touch grass, I had to take a little break, and I had to be standing up because So a lot happened that episode. Yeah, it totally did. We got some very important character development. First of all, let's talk about it. Jet and Charn. Jet finally found out the truth about their past life together. And I thought it was really like creative how they revealed it, because like the entire episode, it was kind of like leading up to this, because Charn kept like, well, first of all, called Jet Jin to his face. Awkward. And then, you know, they had that hand holding moment. Was that last week? So this week, I could tell that like Charn was really afraid of crossing the line. And when they went to share the room alone, that's when I was like, oh, something's about to happen. And it was so endearing and adorable when Charn was like putting pillows in between them, because like he doesn't want to make Jet uncomfortable. And I thought that was just so cute and sweet and like so very him. And they finally like talked about it. And the best part, and like, okay, I'm gonna be gushing about this forever because I just think their scene was so well directed and they felt so very in character. Because Charn was like, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. And then Jet was like, who says you're making me uncomfortable? And then they kissed, which I figured would happen. I figured they would kiss this episode. I did not think that that next thing would happen. I did not. They went straight from kissing to something else, if you know what I mean. Which I also, okay, this is going to sound insane, but I felt like it was one of the best directed NC scenes I've seen in a very long time. I mean, okay, I also felt that way about knockouts in C scenes, but Khemjira's, it kind of takes the cake, because I just felt that they were very in character in some of the choices that were made in the direction of the scene. And it was just so endearing, and it felt like such a magical and special moment because of the way it was building up and the way they finally like came together for the first time. I heard it. The way they shot that scene, beautiful, pure cinema. And then we can talk now about Paran and Khem. I know this is very unlike my normal reviews, because normally I'm very like structured. I'm just like kind of losing my mind. Maybe I'll make a second review once I've had more time to collect my thoughts. This entire episode, we kind of had this plot with Prim going on, and she essentially confessed, and poor Crew, like, he half turned her down. In my opinion, he was like, we've always been friends. To me, that's friend zoning someone. But she was like, why don't you think about it? And Kim overheard that and didn't hear him say like no to that, which I think hurt Kim a little bit. But I think everything in this episode, like Paran's jealousy of Pong and Kim's like perceived relationship, and the fact that Kim got hurt, I think that pushed him to his breaking point. He folded. I thought he was going to fold in episode 8. He folded this episode because Kim got hurt. And I knew from the second he started putting ointment on that wound, I was like, oh, you're putting ointment on his wound for way too long. But I think everything had just like come to a head. And last week, I literally said in my review, if poor Crew says something like, you're mine, unless something has changed, I'm gonna be mad at him. I'm not mad at him. Because I think it became increasingly clear in the way he was treating Kim throughout the episode. He had become a lot softer and kinder in his treatment. And I think he hasn't apologized yet, but he had become a lot softer, and it was becoming very clear just how like torn he's been about this situation and how also distraught he is about the potential of losing Kim, or at least that's how I'm interpreting his actions. Now, do I blame Kim for being very confused in the scene where Paran kind of corners him against a table? And first of all, they were foul for ending the episode right as they were about to kiss. If they get interrupted next week, the Monday when I catch you. But Kim was like very confused because Paran, like, first of all, he uses a different pronoun to refer to Kim. And that's when I was like, oh, he's folding. And so then he like kind of like corners him against the table, like moving forward to kiss him. And Kim is like very confused. I don't blame him for being confused because last week, how was Paran treating him? Like dirt. Like dirt. And I think these two characters desperately need to communicate. And I'm hoping that this is a step towards that communication. Also, KengNamping's chemistry, they're crazy. They're freaking crazy. I mean, okay, Jet and Charn were also crazy. Like, the tension, the chemistry, oh my God, the cast is so wildly talented. And when, like, Paran folded, I screamed because I was like, oh, because hear me out. I think poor Crew's kind of a secret freak in a good way. Like, I feel like once he's unleashed, you know, his restraint, he's going to be kind of a secret freak. And also bold as hell. That's just like the way I'm interpreting him from this episode, because it was like a light switched. Like you turned on the light. He kind of went a little crazy. We'll have to see how that scene ends though. I hope they're not baiting us. But Demundi, they're kind of masturbator. Demundi's pretty good at baiting us, so maybe it is bait, but I really hope not. I hope whatever happens leads poor Crew and Kim to have an open and honest conversation with each other about their feelings so that Kim can quit getting so hurt and feeling confused. I also thought it was Kim is just so kind. So now that we've kind of gushed about the insanity that happened in the last 30 minutes, right? Let's talk a little bit about some more interpretation. So first of all, I think that we yet again saw that Kim has a lot of empathy and concern for others. Like, he was worried that by being there, he would cause harm to the students performing in the play, which of course that ended up not being the case. But poor Crew, I thought it was really fascinating. He gave him his amulet as a way to like reassure him, but then he let him keep it to take it to the temple fair. And I just have a feeling that like maybe the bracelet will be staying with Kim from now on out. Just a theory. Charn, we see him kind of wrestle with his feelings this episode, and his performance, like, and his expressions, they're just so captivating to me. I am so compelled. I'm compelled by everyone involved, to be clear. But like, that was really interesting to see. Jet, of course, is so lovely during this episode. And I thought it was really sweet that Jet was like, okay, you guys go ahead. I'll try to take care of the wasp issue. And then Charn came and helped protect Jet. Oh, masterful. I thought Kim was really like kind in the way he turned down Pong. He didn't have to be that kind, but Kim is like one of the kindest characters I've ever like had in a piece of media before. And he's so empathetic towards others. Honestly, it kind of makes him and poor Crew like the perfect match in a way. And it was so kind that like he was even thinking of poor Crew and brought him back food. Like, that was so sweet. And of course, you know, poor Crew stepping in to save them. Wow. Oh, this was like, and Rem Hung, she kind of got taken out. And so I thought that was also very interesting. Anyways, all in all, it was a 10 out of 10 episode for me. We had lots of important character development, important conversations that needed to happen, and very interesting developments. What did you think of the episode? Let me know down below. Let's talk Khemjira episode 8. While that episode was almost 2 hours long, to me, it felt like 10 minutes. I could have used like another 30 minutes on that episode, especially because of the way they ended it. They love a cliffhanger, don't they? The ending was crazy with Yai being like possessed by Rempung. That's definitely what's going on, because she would never, the Yai we know would never poison poor crew, okay? But, and it was foul the way they ended it. Again, with the cliffhanger. Thanks, Demundi. But let's get into the other insanity of the episode. So at the beginning of the episode, there was a classic Khemjira and poor crew misunderstanding. They are so good at misunderstanding each other. And, you know, I see why Kim interpreted the situation in the way he did, because I too would have been very confused. I would have been very confused and upset as well. But thank God, because when that happened, I was like, I need somebody to tell poor crew to wake up. Wake up, man. Go after what you want. And then Yai did it. My hero, my diva, the queen herself. She was like, you're a shaman, not a monk. Lock in, go get your man. So poor Cruz tries to have a conversation with him, but guess who's at his house? Pim. And of course, Kim is misunderstanding. And he's on the verge of tears. But don't worry. He turns Pim down. And finally, they have an open and honest conversation about their feelings, in which poor crew doesn't push him away and they don't lie to themselves or to each other. And they finally admitted they both have feelings for each other, and then they kissed. That was very loud. I apologize. They kissed and they're together now, but they're keeping it a secret. Which I can see why, because also, yeah, I do agree that that would be a pretty big distraction. But I do think it's funny that he was like, we can't tell Jet and Charn. He's saying this to the twins, because that would distract them. I'm like, they're already distracted by something else. Each other. But, oh my God. And now that they're together, they have this like, their tension was crazy before, but now that they're together, their tension's even like crazier. Like their tension was up here. It went like up here. Okay. And the pining looks, they've just gotten worse. They've just gotten worse now that they're together. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And honestly, this episode kind of proved to me like how good they are for each other when they communicate. Because like poor Crew's going through a very emotional journey about Yai's sickness and like the fact that he could lose her. And Kim like was so comforting and like so grounding to him, and like that's truly what makes a good relationship, when you can lean on each other and be there for each other and be a team. Like to me, that is the best kind of relationship. I'm excited to see how their relationship continues to grow now that they're actually together, and as they face the looming deadline of Kim's birthday. Now, we also should talk about what happened at the end. Okay, listen, I had a feeling Paran was kind of crazy. I had a feeling he was kind of a freak in a good way. And, you know, that has been proven to me. Him and Kim had special time together, if you pick up what I'm putting down. And by the way, first of all, that scene, oh my God, it was so beautifully shot. Like, it was beautifully shot, emotionally heavy, and honestly I felt very narratively justified between the buildup from their relationship so far and kind of the emotional tension that has weighed down on their relationship this entire time. And it felt sad and raw and passionate, and I thought it was so interesting that Kim was like, is it wrong for them to do that thing? And poor Crew was like, if it's out of love, how could it be wrong, or something like that. I thought that was such a beautifully written moment, and honestly it had me like, I was just like, okay. But I just thought that was beautiful, and they handled it really well. It felt very like natural to who we've seen Khemjira and poor crew, who their characters are. We've seen them as they came together. I hate that I said it like that, but I feel like there's no better way for me to say it. Like they're joining in partnership together. I guess it still sounded weird when I said it like that. That scene was crazy, and I'm feeling like it's like scene after scene in this episode has my jaw on the ground. Like, honestly, I'm still processing it, and honestly, I screamed. Like, listen, I'm happy they're communicating, and I'm happy that they are happy, and that they made each other happy. Sorry. That was a reference to something Kim said in the episode. Jet and Charn, they're stressing me out, y'all. Okay, me and Charn are equally stressed by this because obviously I feel like Jet's trying to figure out his own feelings, and that's fine. That's fine. I also feel like he's trying to also protect the fact that, because they think that Kim and poor crew are not a thing. So I feel like also it reflects and parallels their past life together when they were trying to hide that they were together in the past to protect Kim's feelings. I think that's also playing into it, along with Jet's trying to figure out where his feelings are. But you know what I thought was like a perfect character development moment? Jet and Charn, they're sitting on the bed. They're talking about their status, right? And Charn is having trouble understanding where Jet is coming from. And Jet says like something about, I can't tell if it's my feelings or my past lives. And Charn is something like, yeah, we've been in love since our past lives. And all I have to say is that is so interesting because he's literally just parroting what Jet was saying when he was like shipping poor crew and Kim. He is literally just parroting that. And the fact that Jet reacts and go, but I thought you didn't believe in past lives. And Charn's like, I do now. Oh, the character development. And the fact that he was kind of using Jet's words to like explain his perspective on this, Charn's perspective on the situation. Oh, masterful writing. Good job, Charn. Good job, writer's room. And the fact that they fell asleep holding hands, that was so sweet. That was so sweet. I really liked it. I'm interested to see their development continue. I hope that they'll be able to have an open and honest conversation before the final confrontation, because obviously I don't think the final confrontation with Rampung will happen next episode. I don't think it will. I think this will just be like a mini confrontation with Rampung leading up to like the big final Rampung confrontation that'll likely happen in episode 12. That's just my thought. I don't see the climax of the story being in episode 9, right? That wouldn't make logical sense because there are 12 episodes, not 9 episodes, if that makes sense. Okay, also, Demuddy. Come on. You cut off the scene with the sapphics right as they were about to kiss? How dare you? How dare you? I know. I have a one-track mind this episode. I apologize for that. Normally, I try to be a lot more analytical and scholarly, okay? I get off. How dare you? How dare you cut it off right there? I'm not happy with you. But what a great episode. Oh my God. I feel like I'm still reeling. I'm low-key losing my mind. I have a feeling I will have brain rot about this episode. I haven't stopped thinking about episode 7, and now I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about episode 7 and episode 8. Anyways, did you watch episode 8 yet? Let me know what you think about it down below. I'm gagged. Honestly, it was a 10 out of 10 for me. This show blows me away every single week. Let's talk Khemjira episode 9. Also, I don't know why I sounded so cheerful at the beginning. I spent 85% of that episode crying. Finally, Rampung's backstory has been revealed, and I can't help but to think, oh my God, I understand why she wants to take revenge. And personally, I think a villain who is justified is that much more of an interesting villain than one that is not. I also think it was a really bold choice for them to have the majority of the episode focus around the backstory of Rampung. That's a risk, and we'll see if it pays off in the reception. I think this episode was amazing, despite the fact that I was sobbing. Also, I had no clue. Like, I knew that a child was involved, that the child's you know what, passing would be involved. But I did not realize the first wife would be that evil. Or like, oh my god, she's so evil. And it left me feeling very confused about Rampung because she's clearly taken revenge so many times. When is enough? When is enough? She's ended so many children. So it's also like, it's kind of giving hypocritical a little bit. But that's what the cycle of revenge will do to you. It will turn you into a hypocritical, nasty person. So maybe that's also kind of what's going on here. I really hope they are able to resolve this with Rampung, save Kim, and also give her rest. Because she is not resting. She is plotting, scheming revenge. The mini story arc also kind of reinforced the many ways that men have pit women against each other for centuries. And I just think that was a very interesting plot line to include. The second I knew Yai passed for real and Tong and Ek moved on, let's say it like that. The second that happened, I was like, Kim's leaving. Kim's running away because he feels extremely guilty. He feels responsible for causing all of this hurt when actually, no, it was not him who did this. And they even say it in the show. And he even says it in his letter. I don't want to hurt anybody else after he left. Kim. Even someone told him that he did not cause Yai to pass. Yai passed of a heart condition and then Rampung took over her body and possessed her. But Kim's perspective on the world, his radical empathy, his radical kindness, while it is one of the best things about him, it's also his fatal flaw. And that he feels responsible for the weight of this situation when it really was not his fault whatsoever. He did not cause Yai to have a heart condition, right? But he feels this immense weight and guilt. And so that's why he chose to run. And I'm so glad Jet and Charn like immediately went after him. I'm so glad because at least they'll be able to kind of protect him a little bit. But what I need is I need Pam next episode to lock in and just show up in Bangkok. Because I don't know what's going to cause them to all be able to get through to Kim that this was not on him and that he deserves to be safe and to be loved and to have happiness too. I don't know what it will be, but I really hope it'll happen next episode because I also truly believe all of them will have to come together to stop Rampung. I do not think Jet, Charn, and Kim can do it without poor crew. And I also really just think, or I hope, that Pim and Kim will make up next episode because, I don't know, I think something will happen next episode that causes Kim to realize that he doesn't have to be alone. He's allowed to be happy and allowed to accept help from others. And he can't control if other people are hurt. He can only control his actions. All in all, it was a really sad episode, but something I'm really loving about the show is every week I just leave the episode being blown away. Even though it made me sad, it was still such a well-written and well-performed and produced episode. It was totally worth the tears. Like, the angst was worth it. And I'm sure the payoff next week or the week after will be even better. I'm so sure. So I'm sure next week we will see this realization. I think Kim will be pushed to the emotional brink next week for his character development arc so that he and Pim can come back together and all four of them can come together to try to stop Rampung before the climax of the series, because next week is episode 10, so it makes sense that they would all be coming together at the end of episode 10 because likely the conflict will be happening in episodes 11 and 12 because it is a 12 episode series. What a great episode. It was very sad, but a great episode. I personally cannot wait till next week. Is it Saturday yet? Did you watch the episode yet? Let me know what you thought about it down below. I don't know if y'all can tell, I'm just very emotionally drained from that viewing experience, but it was so good despite the fact that it was so sad. Let's talk Khemjira episode 10. First of all, let's get it out of the way. I was right. Nat Pop is in Khemjira. I'm so happy. Prepare to be sick of me. Prepare to be sick of me. Now that we've gotten all of our excitement about Net out of the way, let's talk about what happened in episode 10. First of all, that episode actually freaked me out. Like, I haven't really been scared watching it since I think episode 1 or episode 3-ish. I was like, I was losing my mind from how freaked out I was. Rampung is scary. She is scary, man. But she's scary. The episode started out with Kim and Jet's backstory of how they met. And I just think it's so interesting how loyal Jet is. And he's such like a kind and considerate person and loyal. He and Kim were kind of like meant to be friends, if you think about it. And Jet and Charn were essentially like, Kim, you might be running away from everything, but you can't run away from us because we freaking love you. And Kim let them love him. Although he just let them come with him. He didn't exactly open up about everything that was going on, which could have led to his game ending. But they're all together and they went to Bangkok. And so Pim is not there. And let me quick shout out to Namping. He did an amazing job this episode. Sometimes when people try to act scared or overwhelmed or even creepy, like in the vision when Kim is possessed, it comes off as cringe, but I think Namping did an amazing job. Like, I genuinely was scared and concerned for Kim. Genuinely. We also got some of Poor Crew's backstory from his past life and his connection to the Naga. And all I have to say is Kim and Pim are perfect for each other. They are both such kind individuals throughout their entire existence in the reincarnation cycle. They're kind of like meant to be partners, if you think about it this way. And so Pim, the Naga, came to Pim and gave him a vision of what would happen if he did not interfere. And what would happen is that Kim would die. And so Pim, thankfully, he's far enough along in his character development that wakes him the hell up. And he's like, I gotta get my ass to Bangkok. So he calls his friend and he's like, I'm coming to Bangkok. I guess, can you help? So he's on his way to Bangkok. And as he arrives, Kim and Rampung are like going at it in his brain. Like, she's terrorizing him and torturing him. And he is about to choose to end it all. But guess who interferes? Pim. And convinces Kim to finally listen to him. Because Kim is at such a low point where he does not care about himself anymore. He cares more about the others around him. And he just wants it all to end. But Pim, I think he did a really good job pleading with him and being like, you may feel this way right now, but think about all the people that will love and miss you. And I thought the scene was so expertly written and directed because in the like dream sequence, Pim kisses him. And at first, Kim doesn't like pull him, if that makes sense. And then Pim pulls away, and then Kim makes the choice to kiss Pim, which I think kind of shows that he's like, okay, I give in. I choose you. I choose to live. I choose hope. And I think it was such a beautifully directed moment and so narratively justified. It felt like, finally, Kim woke up. And then he did actually physically wake up. And what did he do when he physically woke up? Immediately hugged Pim. Cinema. Absolute cinema. So now, Pim, Kim, they're back together and everyone is converging on Kim's apartment with a plan to try to figure out how to defeat Rampung next week. I think this was a really good, like, climax of emotionally the conflict between Pim and Kim, because Kim was at his lowest and Pim, Jet, and Charn would not let him push them away. And I think it's finally gotten through to Kim that they love and care about him. Even though they've been saying it to him the entire time, I think he's finally listening, and that is character development for him. And I think now that they're all together, they're only going to be stronger together. And I think for Kim to survive, they will all have to work together as one. So it is good that the like emotional conflict between Kim and Pim, Kim, Jet, and Charn, Kim and Jet and Charn, not Jet and Charn's conflict, but Kim with them, is all coming together. It's resolved, and now they can work together to defeat Rampung. Do I think they're going to succeed? I am hoping they will. Let's talk about Jet and Charn a little bit. So during the whole episode, they were kind of doing this like flirty thing, which it works. It works for them. Their dynamic is very like brimming with tension. And I think Kim definitely like peeped what's going on between them. And it'll be interesting to see like if he says something, but we'll see. And they kind of have reached this like, oh, we're friends for now. And yet they're also just like constantly flirting with each other. Also, it was so cute. Jet's sister also kind of peeped the situation and started teasing them, which as soon as I figured out that she figured it out, I was like, that's going to happen and it's going to be adorable. But there's this like thing brewing between them. And throughout the entire episode, it's kind of escalating. And then at the end, when the character Net's playing shows up, first of all, Jet is very excited to see him. And Jet's sister, not excited. So I'm like, what character is this character going to be? Is he going to be like annoying, crazy? Like, I have no clue. Because if Jet really likes him, I'm like, he has to be some level of unhinged, right? Because like Jet's very like unhinged and chaotic. So I feel like he is going to be too. But he's so excited. And Charn's kind of jealous. Like his facial expressions, like when Jet's like very excited to see the character Net is playing, Charn's facial expressions are like concerned, jealous. So that's going to be interesting. And I wonder if his jealousy of what is going on. Well, I don't think there's anything going on between Net's character and Jet, but, or maybe there was in the past. Who knows? We don't know. I don't think there was. I don't think like, maybe there was a crush, but I think that's going to push forward their relationship. Likely because sometimes jealousy can force people to like be like, we gotta talk. But Jet's the one who's like keeps saying we gotta wait. So I'm wondering how Charn is gonna deal with this. This is gonna be their emotional conflict in episode 11. Likely, I suspect that they're gonna have a little bit more angst, because typically what shows do is they'll have like the main ship, when they have angst, the side ship typically is more aligned, and then when the main ship is happy together, the side ship is more angsty or more conflict driven. So I don't know if they're gonna make up an episode or make up and make out in episode 11. It might be episode 12, but I was very surprised to see that Charn was so threatened by Net's character, although he was giving rich. Anyways, to me, it was a 10 out of 10 episode. We got backstory on Pim and Kim separately, but backstory nevertheless. We got Rampung being scary. Okay, that, I think it's going a bit beyond revenge now. I think she like genuinely enjoys torturing Kim, which is just crazy. And we got Paran and Kim making up, and Paran choosing to try to save Kim, and Kim choosing to save himself, and therefore out of his love, and therefore acknowledge his friend and partner's love for him and his love for them back by wanting to live. Honestly, this show, every single week, it tops my expectations. I'm having so much fun in every episode. I have yet to be like disappointed by the writing. It is so good and so well produced. I'm just so impressed. Anyways, let me know what you thought of Khemjira episode 10 down below, and I'll see you all next week for Khemjira episode 11. Thanks for watching. Bye. Let's talk Khemjira episode 11. Oh my god. I was on the edge of my seat that entire episode. Final showdown with Rampung finally started, okay? But I knew they weren't going to wrap it up in episode 11. Of course, they're going to wrap it up in episode 12. But they did such a good job with the pacing. Like, first of all, I was scared. They got me a few times. Like when Jet and Charn were in the car and that ghost hit the window, I physically jumped. I was like, okay. But I think they did a really good job. It doesn't feel like a very long and drawn out sort of final battle. Sometimes final confrontations can feel like not justified, or they take too long, or the resolution, well, we don't know how it's going to be resolved yet. But I really liked what they did with it. I felt like it was paced really well. And something else that really impressed me with this sort of build up to the climax of the story, right, with this final showdown with Rampung and Pim and Kim, I liked that every character had a valuable role to play in the narrative leading up to the final confrontation. They all had a role. They all had a reason for being there, and they all were given time to do that role. We saw it. I should not be shocked that that happened, but I feel like we rarely see that in BLs, because I think sometimes, and I've spoken about this before, and if you want to hear me speak about it more, I'm of course will. Also, you can check out my video essay that I did on Khemjira. It's a bit outdated now because it was only, I think I made it after the first 4 episodes. I'll make another one after the series ends. You can find it at the link in my bio. But I think a lot of BLs often hesitate to give development to side characters because they're worried about taking too much screen time away from the main leads, which frustrates me because that's not good writing. That makes flat characters that fall flat, and then the narrative can also sometimes be bad. It happens a lot. Let's be real. It happens a lot. And the fact that we got to see each of the characters, including Pim and Kim's role in this plan, masterpiece, okay? And they all played their roles really, really well. All of them worked together as a team to make it happen. And I find that to be beautiful and narratively justified. The character developments, that plot lines that they've been laying out throughout the series. Whoa! It was awesome! So let's talk about Jet and Charn for a little bit, because their role was very important, okay? They were the main decoy. The decoy that if it went wrong, everything could have fallen apart sooner. Their confrontation with Rampung was very narratively justified. And the fact that it kind of ended with Jet being possessed and them falling off the bridge and them coming to realize what happened in the past. We'll talk about that in a second. And then Jet was able to save Charn. So they both took turns saving each other. Beautiful, magnificent, tens, okay? And they're going to be together in this life. And let me just say that what happened to Da and Jin breaks my heart, okay? I cried. And we got a kiss with Da and Jin, but at what cost? My mental health? Right. But the fact that they were having this conversation in the past, Da and Jin were talking about a world in which we could be together, that's a dream, and, all of these things. And then all of those things were referenced in the conversation that Jet and Charn happened once Jet gave Charn CPR. Oh, thank you, narrative writers. Oh, I ate it up. And I'm so happy for them that they survived together as a team. Let's talk about Pim and Kim and the plan a bit more. So first of all, the plan worked. It worked. They just didn't account for Rampung changing the rules on them, I guess. Which, how could you account for that? They tried their best. But what they tried to execute worked. And what I think was really monumentous character growth for Kim is he put his faith in his partner and in his community, and he trusted them completely, and it paid off. By working all together, they made it to midnight on his 21st birthday. They made it. It's also so interesting to see Pim, now that he's so motivated to save Kim. Why wouldn't he be, right? But at the beginning, remember, he's like, I'm not going to interfere. Oh, look at yourself now. The character development, it's just so good. It's so good. And Kim is as kind and caring as normal. There was this one scene where, because of the car Kachin brought, Kim had to sit on Pim's lap. Okay, I see you. And he kept adjusting himself. And he was like, I'm afraid I'm too heavy. And I'm like, dude, you guys are running for your lives and you're afraid about inconveniencing Pim. And Pim was like, no, it's not a problem. But I was just like, that is so them. That is so them. Because like his nightmare would be inconveniencing Pim. And it's just, I don't know. I just thought like it was such like a little cute like moment of relief in this very like high stakes, intense episode. Also, slight note, Nat's character is such a pot stirrer. He loves to stir the pot. And you know what? It was entertaining. In this episode, Chekhov's gun came back, the knife. The spiritual weapon is back, okay? And I just have a feeling. Do not comment spoilers. Thank you. I just have a feeling because of what happened in the last few minutes of the episode where all the ghosts showed up, I just have a feeling that Kim might be the one to actually use the spiritual weapon. And I'm concerned because it's like when the spirit gave the warning to Pim, he said something like, not meant for the human body to withstand. That concerns me. I think Kim will be the one who lands the final blow that sends Rampung away. I think it's going to happen with the knife because they've introduced a Chekhov's gun situation, right? And with Chekhov's gun, it has to go off. It goes off. It will be used for something. It's like that meme of Mickey that says, this is a surprise tool that will help us later. So I think Kim is going to use it. That's my thought right now. Now, something else I wanted to talk about, and narratively, if you know a lot about me, you'll know what, I love this. But I love that they gave Rampung a chance to leave peacefully. You know, after it struck midnight, Pim and Kim both tried to reason with her and talk to her instead of just immediately choosing violence and to destroy her. I really don't think they want to use the knife, but I'm also going to say it's probably, I think their morals plays into that too. And I think that plays into who they have established throughout this entire show, who Pim and Kim are, who at their hearts, they both are very genuine people who have empathy and respect and care for others. They gave her a chance. They tried to reason with her. Kim was like, I have no control over what happened to your son, but she wouldn't have it. And so they left it off on a cliffhanger. All of these ghostly warriors are there to back up Rampung. And we'll have to find out next week in Khemjira Episode 12, will Khemjira survive? Okay, what did you think of the episode? Let me know down below. Personally for me, 10 out of 10 experience. I loved it. I loved it. Anyways, okay, thanks for watching. See y'all next week. Bye. Let's talk Khemjira Episode 12. First of all, I'm refusing to acknowledge that it's over, okay? We will manifest special episodes, although this was a very satisfactory ending. I was so floored by this series. The Mundi, they did it. They set it up, and all I had to do was hit a home run in the finale, and they did. I can't believe I just used a sports analogy. That's so unlike me, but they set it up and they hit it out of the park. It was so good. And I think it was very perfect for the story that they were setting up, that the conflict was not resolved with violence, but with kindness, empathy, forgiveness, and understanding of others. That fit the story of Khemjira and who these characters are to each other so well. I don't really even know where to start. It was so justified. It was so just like the perfect little bow on an already gorgeous package. Time and time again, Pim and Kim choose each other, and I think that is beautiful. Okay, so Jet and Charn are official now, which is yay. Pim and Kim are engaged. Well, and in the flash forward, they're married with kids. It just felt like it felt like the perfect ending for all of them. Like, they got their happy ending. They really did. Seeing their marriage certificate, I started tearing up. Like, it is so magical. Like, as a queer person, I remember when gay marriage was legalized in my country. I also remember when it was legalized in Thailand, but it's just so like special to see queer love depicted in this way. I don't know if anyone else feels like this too. The fact that the kids they adopted, I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but okay, fine. It's Thong and Ek reincarnated. By the way, that's in an extra credit scene, so when the credits start rolling, keep watching. This is like the Avengers. Something else I really liked is that Charn, first of all, when he met Jet's dad, he was like, hi, here's my full name, also I'm gay, and your son is gay. And he did use the word, I'm gay. He did say, and honestly, at first, I was like, oh my god, there's Charn being super brave again. But let me tell you guys, I love it when characters, this is something that is near and dear to my heart, when characters use and claim identities, because I feel like so often in BL and GL and other QL, people will just be like, well, I don't like girls, or I don't like boys. They don't use like the identity words as much. And so I feel like it's so important to see characters on the screen who use the phrase like, I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, I'm bisexual, I'm, fill in the blank. And I feel like it's so, so, so important for representation. Oh, and it was a beautiful scene. This is so all over the place, but I don't know if y'all noticed the Easter egg. So in the proposal scene, when Pim gives Kem the note, and obviously from the second I saw it was a date, I was like, that's the date of their wedding. That's the auspicious date for their wedding. It was January 21st. Who all knows what January 21st is? I do. January 21st is KengNamping's anniversary, technically, because that is the day they became official partners. So there's a fun fact for you. It's also my birthday. So happy birthday to me and happy wedding to Pim and Kem, because now it's Pim and Kem's anniversary and KengNamping's anniversary. So congrats to everybody involved. And the characters stay well developed and characterized throughout the entire show, and the way they acted in the finale stayed true to who they've been the entire time. And as they've grown and changed by each other, I thought that was beautiful. Another thing I like is how much Khemjira has focused on the concept of found family and community, and how it continues to show that your found family and community, they continue to rally around Pim and Kem through times of struggle, which is just amazing and beautiful. And I think it is such a beautiful theme that this story has had of community. Something else I really loved about Khemjira as a whole is that all of the characters were given room to breathe and to develop. Everyone was well developed. Everyone had a place in the story, and no one was really treated as a throwaway, in my opinion. And I feel like that just shows how much care and dedication and thought was put into the script writing team. By the way, whoever wrote the script for this, we need to get them employed again. I mean, I don't know how the money will ever top what we just witnessed these past 12 weeks. For me, it's been a 10 out of 10 experience. Can we also talk about the NC scene for a second? Because all I have to say is I did make a little joke to myself, because I was like, of course it's in a mosquito net. Paradise of Thorns watchers, me and you were like, LOL, mosquito net moment. Sorry, that was a bad joke. But putting aside my jokes about the mosquito net, I will say what I really liked about the NC scene is that, first of all, it was so well performed. KengNamping's facial expressions, my jaw was on the ground. They are so good at capturing feelings of like pining and desire and longing for someone, and to finally see that longing come to a head, like for them, they did really well. But something else is, I thought the way they shot it too. Okay, whoever directed that scene, good job, you ate. The mosquito net also added this almost like ethereal gauze to it that like elevated the vibes. It felt so like narratively justified. Oh, it was just a beautiful moment. All in all, for me, honestly, Khemjira is a 10 out of 10. I have had more fun these past 12 weeks watching this show than pretty much any show I can remember in recent history. It has cemented itself as one of my favorite Thai BL series and TV series in general. I think it was a masterpiece, and I'm sure I'll have more to say, as I take some time to decompress and process what we've witnessed. But for me, it was really, really good, and the ending was so justified. It was so narratively justified and beautiful, magical, and wonderful in every single way. Anyways, what did you think of the finale of Khemjira? Let me know down below. I will probably make more videos about this episode and Khemjira in the future, but right now I'm just riding like the amazing high of how good it was. It was just so good. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.